I'm Maria Colusi. I'm coming from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. And I'm here in Berlin since 18 years already. I have a man and I have a family, also Argentinian. My son is 12 years old and he is going to the school. He has his German life, let's say, and at home it's a bit more like the Argentinian world.
Did you move immediately to Berlin? Did you start in Berlin?
Actually, I was studying first in France because I got a grant to go there to study contemporary dance. And so I was about 1 year there, and I knew about a choreographer that called Sasha Waltz. She's in Berlin. I thought that she was in Berlin and she was looking for a dancer. And so I traveled from Paris to Berlin to do an audition, to have a job. And so I went to the audition and she took me, and that's why I was here in Berlin at the end. But I didn't plan it because also I didn't have any contact with the German culture. I didn't know a lot about it, and I also the language. I found it very difficult. So I didn't actually imagine myself living in Berlin.
And it happened.
And it happened, and luckily it happened, because I feel like now this is kind of my home. Even though, of course, there is another culture, another language. I think Berlin has this ability of embrace people and make them feel like they are good where they are. And they can be there. You can live here. And so this is something very beautiful about this city, I found.
I can imagine that dance companies normally are international. That's like a third level above Berlin, above Germany.
Yes, it is. Especially Berlin, I feel that is quite international. Actually, the choreographer is German, but all the dancers, they're coming from different countries. And even we don't have even one German in the company, which is very rare. but yes, so in the work, actually, when I came, I didn't speak any English. So I was speaking French, basically, and Spanish. So I was communicated in the work only in these both languages. And slowly, I start to, let's learn German and let's start anyway to be inside of the society, because I think also the language is part of it. Even though I was not obliged to speak, because the dance is not, you dance, you express with your body. You don't talk when you dance. So, yeah.
Could you say, or would you say, Berlin is like a dance as well?
Yes, I think so. Because I think this movement that a lot of people from different countries are coming here, are giving actually different flavors, different spirits, different energies. That, of course, is influencing all the art, what is happening in the city, for sure. Yeah.
And you decided to live in Kreuzberg. Was it just finding an apartment here, or?
Well, it was a long story. We were living in Neukölln for about 7 years. And one night we went to a party close to the Planhofer. And we went with my husband and we say, wow, this is the place. Actually, I dreamed to live one time here in Kreuzberg. And we were laughing, and years later I was pregnant. my father died. I earned a bit of money because of that. It was all the situation, economical situation. Okay, as a foreigner, at least from Argentinians, one thing is very important. When you are pregnant, you have to have a house. You have to have a house. So I said, okay, we have to look for an apartment now. So we start to search for many places in Berlin. We find one in Schöneberg, but in the end didn't work. We start to look in here in Kreuzberg, and finally we saw this one. And then I said, wow, in that time it was not that expensive, but we had like save money. So I say, okay, maybe we can. We were speaking with the Immobilien, with the man for the Immobilien, and he said, okay, but it's a bit more expensive. And so a German friend, she said, okay, you know what? I gonna give you what still you need to pay. I was like, no way. And the thing that comes magic. I didn't even say to her, could you please lend me money? No, totally with a heart. Yeah, you are pregnant. You have to have a house in Berlin. Amazing. And so we bought this house here, and our friend, of course, was super happy. The baby was coming, and all the story was like like a happy end somehow. And the thing we really liked about this neighborhood is because there were a lot of families and kids, and there were a lot of green spots, all over the Planufa, the Hassenheide, and the life. It was very relaxed. And in Neukölln, of course, it was a bit more kind of rough, and we felt it more home in this side of the city, let's say. And it was more international as well. There are more Italians, French, also Germans, even though it's changing, because I think also the situation about the apartments in the whole Berlin is changing a lot. So people are more buying for renting, and all this story is a bit changing sometimes the atmosphere. I mean, in our apartment, we take about the plants, we do a plan, each one, is taking care about the plants of the garden. So we did together the garden, we planned together. So it's very nice. We are kind of a big family.
How was it during COVID, the lockdown?
Yes, I think for example, in the lockdown, we were walking a lot around the canal, the Planufa. So we meet like mad there. Like each one, we just stop in the canal and talk with 2 meters to each other. And we find, you find the people in the neighborhood while we were walking, and just to exchange about what about our feelings, what we were feeling about the lockdown, about the kids. So we could even exchange in the streets about our life. And this, I think, is not so often happening in other neighborhoods. Or let's go to drink a Glühwein in December, when it was the second lockdown. So somehow especially I feel the canal is somehow connecting a lot of people in the neighborhood, because you always meet someone there, even if you are not looking for. I feel in this maybe 3 years it's getting a bit more tense in the street, and this it was not before. I don't know. I feel a bit more the friction. And I guess, I don't know, maybe it's connected also for political things. So I cannot really say what it is, but...
Your kid, is he feeling something like tension He's in school, and I think the schools are very mixed and are sometimes problematic.
Yes, of course, because okay, we know of course in Kreuzberg there is a lot of multiculti. So of course this multiculti it has actually a beauty, but there is also the black part of it, let's say, or the dark part that maybe this is also causing sometimes friction in between people because maybe you think in another way or you see your life and you have your own habits or your own likes because you are coming from a different country, maybe we are not matching together. But what I found that actually Berlin works a lot, and in this neighborhood especially, they work a lot on integration. So that they are not really, especially in the schools, I feel that they don't have this, they don't allow people to fight with each other. They go immediately into the problem. And when there is a conflict, they really go into it on top of it. And I found it very well, very good. Of course, they have a group in the school, they discuss about those things. And why if you think different than me, okay, we can living together and we can be friends, even if we are not from the same country or thinking in the same direction.
Are there at all other Argentinians around? Did you meet any?
Well, I must say I have a few. I'm not a very kind of this local person that if I'm from this country, I just go with my country. I'm a bit more flexible. I want that I'm from Argentina. I have several friends, but I'm not meeting all the time with my Argentinian friends, for example. I'm quite, I have German friends, I have French friends, Italian, of course, because I have my Italian roots, of course.
Anyway, you are home here, so you're gonna stay.
Yes, for sure. As long as I think, as long as I had work and yes, I don't dream to come back to my country, even though I love my country and I love the people there. That there is something very special, but I don't know. I found that maybe it's Germany, maybe it's Berlin. I don't know. There is this respect. And still, I think, that this social support, this open mind, and this almost that, yeah, you are different, but you can still live there.